How about them Niners? Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shifty's 49ers Talk. It's your boy Shifty. This one goes out to Niner fans, near, far, NFL fans, sports fans. You all are welcome right here. Today we are breaking down the Niners' crazy NFC Divisional Round win over the Green Bay Packers. The Niners win 13-10. We're getting into it. Alrighty, so let's start breaking down this game. And how we're going to break this down is we're going to go through chronologically what happened in the game. So we're going to start with the first quarter, work our way all the way till the end. So Niners win the coin toss. We elect to kick the ball to Green Bay to start the game. The Green Bay Packers' first drive was absolutely dominant. It really resembled the drive that the opening drive the 49ers had against the Dallas Cowboys. Every play they had, they were getting chunks of yards. We were playing really soft coverage on Davante Adams. They were able to also run the ball effectively, getting good chunks of yards with each run. But the biggest thing was really how we initially played Davante Adams. And I think that really the cold played a major factor in all of this. It was, freezing temperatures, and really our guys aren't super used to that. So Green Bay just marched their whole way down, led to an A.J. Dillon touchdown. Then after that, essentially what happened was, the Niners got the ball 3 and out. The offense straight away not looking good. A couple of penalties early on in the first quarter also killed some of our drives. However, we did actually come up with a big defensive play on Green Bay's second drive where Rodgers hit Mercedes Lewis, their veteran tight end. Fred Warner comes in and just punches the ball out. Dre Greenlaw recovers. You're thinking, hey, maybe this will be some momentum for the offense, but we proceed to lose yards, and that was kind of the story for most of the first half for the 49ers offense. Really, it was just exchanging possessions back and forth. Towards the second part of the second quarter, getting close to halftime, the Niners actually get a really nice drive going. They're driving all the way down. They get into the red zone. Elijah Mitchell has a great run. Off tackle, gets down to about the 5-yard line, but they call a face mask on Elijah Mitchell, which is not a call that you see too often against the offense. I mean, when you look at the replay, you could definitely see that he kind of grabbed the face mask. I think it was of Eric Stokes for the Packers, their cornerback. I might be wrong on that. But overall, very disappointing. They called it face mask, which just pushes us back. Then we had a false start, I believe, or maybe illegal formation. And then Jimmy Garoppolo does what Jimmy Garoppolo does, and unfortunately threw, just not a good pass. You could see what he was thinking, but he needed to throw that pass about like a full second or a second and a half earlier to give it a shot to get to George Kittle, but he throws the pick in the red zone. Not good. There's about a minute, maybe 2 minutes or so left in the first half, and then the Packers have the ball. Now they're deep in their own territory. It's third down. We start calling timeout, so we think we can maybe get the ball back. But then Rodgers does, it kind of resembles very vintage Aaron Rodgers, scrambles around, hits Aaron Jones wide open down the field. I think Jimmy Ward and Dante Johnson each thought each other were going to guard Aaron Jones, but he was wide open. But heads up play by the 49ers defensive backs to get back, make the tackle on Aaron Jones so that they didn't get a touchdown. Remember, at this point in the game, it's 7-0, that opening drive touchdown for Green Bay. Now, there's maybe 14, 15 seconds left in the half. I don't think Green Bay have any more timeouts. I think they just used their last timeout, and then we essentially get a sack. We actually force a fumble on Rodgers on the sack, but Green Bay recovered. They go to the line. I think they spike it so they can get a field goal attempt off. Then defensive back Jimmy Ward, number 1, comes through and has a huge field goal block on Mason Crosby. So at the end of the half, we go in, it's 7-0. The Niners have not played well offensively at all. The defense, gave up the big play to Aaron Jones and also that opening drive. So overall at halftime, I'm feeling, hey, we're pretty lucky to only be down 7-0. Overall offensively, the blocking was not the best. Zadarius Smith had some big sacks. He got right through Laken Tomlinson. Also in the first half, Rashawn Gary was just a monster pretty much all game long, and he really beat up on Tom Compton. Also, it just seemed like Green Bay were very, very well prepared for the game, which you'd expect because they had that extra week off, being the number 1 seed, and they kind of knew our plays, knew what we were going to do. So the Green Bay defense in the first half was awesome. Now, as we get into the second half, the 49ers do receive the ball to start the second half. We actually do something pretty interesting is we have Deebo Samuel back there to receive the ball, and it was a great call because he catches it, takes it all the way to about midfield, so that was awesome. Great to see Deebo Samuel have a really nice return. So we have right before halftime, we have the field goal block, then we have a big return. You're thinking even though we're down 7-0, we have all the momentum. We have a pretty solid drive. Unfortunately, a couple of things didn't work out, but eventually we were able to put 3 points on the board, which was big time, and we really needed to do that. After that, again, similar to like the middle part of the first half, a number of possessions kind of go back and forth. The Packers really did start to get some a little bit of offensive going, and then they were able to put 3 points on the board. So it was 10-3. Before you know it, hey, we're in the fourth quarter. The time is going by pretty quickly. 10-3. The Niners then have a big drive. They really start getting George Kittle involved, which is awesome to see. The running game starts eventually opening up a little bit, having a little bit more success, off tackle, doing those plays where we maybe look like we might go off tackle, but then we just cut it right up the middle. We have a really nice drive going. I believe it was 3rd and maybe 8 or 9. Jimmy hits Jawan Jennings, and Jennings just shy. And considering where we are in the field, I believe we were at the Packers' maybe 25-yard line. It's in the fourth quarter. At this point, there's maybe 6 minutes left in the game. We go for it on 4th and 1. We try a run right up the middle, but Rashawn Gary just burst right through the line. Charlie Werner, the tight end, I believe, was supposed to kind of get the block on him, but failed to. And we came up short on 4th and 1. So Green Bay takes the ball over. There's about maybe 6 or so minutes left in the game. It's not looking good. However, like for pretty much the vast majority of the game, the defense stepped up in a big way. Excellent coverage, and then we get the big sack on 3rd down on Rodgers. I think it was Bosa and Armstead maybe split the sack there, but an awesome sack, pushes them back. Not only that, but then I believe, was it maybe on that drive or the drive after where they have a false start, so it pushes them back even farther. But then Jordan Willis has maybe the biggest play of the season, one of the biggest plays of the season, where we block the punt from Green Bay Packers punter Bajorquez. The ball goes flying up. Players are looking around like, what's going on? We don't know where it is. Luckily lands right beside Talanoa Hufanga, who picks it up and then dances his way into the end zone. And Green Bay is stunned because right now, Robbie Gould hits the extra point. It's 10-10. They're thinking, we've been ahead the whole game. They kind of felt like, even though it's a very close game, that they've kind of been in control somewhat. And all of a sudden, it's like, hey, there's 5 minutes left in the game now, and we're tied. So Niners, after we tie it up on the block punt return for a touchdown, we kick it away. What does the defense do? Go ahead and start a 3 and out. The drive was really great. Again, great coverage, great pressure. I believe on 1st down, the Packers actually had an eligible man downfield. That pushes them back. They get a 4-yard gain on their 1st and 15 to make it 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11, they throw it. I believe it was to Randall Cobb, and K'Wan Williams almost has the interception. And then on 3rd down, Rodgers just heaves it deep all the way down, looking for Devontae Adams. But excellent coverage by Dante Johnson and Talanoa Hufanga on the double coverage right there. No pass interference, excellent coverage. And then all of a sudden for Green Bay, it's 4th and 11. They have to punt it back. Now, the Niners offense on this final drive of the game, which leads to, spoiler alert, the game-winning field goal, is we start off with a nice pass to George Kittle. So George Kittle just runs and then cuts in on a slant. You could argue it's a post route, but great route, great read by Jimmy Garoppolo, and great pass, perfect pass. We get about 12 yards on the first play. After that, we have a run with Elijah Mitchell, and then we have a play call, which I absolutely love, which is Debo in the backfield. We snap the ball. He kind of runs just like a crossing route almost. Get it to him. He barges through for about maybe 12, 13 yards. Now we're in Green Bay territory. I believe that play took us down to the Green Bay 41-yard line. There's about a minute and a half or so left in the game, and then Green Bay are going to start having to think about using their timeouts. We have run a couple of plays right up the middle. We get about 2-3 yards on those two plays. So it leads us to a 3rd and 7 on the Green Bay 39-yard line. And look, at that point, put the ball in the best player's hands. That's what we do. Garoppolo hands it off to Debo Samuel, who bursts through for about a gain of 9, gets a first down. Green Bay are out of timeouts. We're now at the Green Bay maybe 28, 29-yard line. We run a couple of other plays. There's 4 seconds left. Timeout. Robbie Gould kicks the field goal, good as gold. The Niners win. The place goes crazy for the 49ers. Lambeau Field is stunned, and the 49ers advance to the NFC Championship game in epic fashion in the freezing cold tundra of Lambeau Field. So a couple of game balls and just plays that I really want to highlight in this one. Of course, I think for the 49ers, you got to give it Jordan Willis with the huge punt block. Incredible play, when it looked like things weren't going our way. We get the punt block, which leads to the touchdown, which ties the game up. He also did a really good job on the field goal block earlier, which allowed Jimmy Ward to get through and block that. So a couple of big-time special teams plays for Jordan Willis. Also, Debo Samuel, just an absolute warrior, the legitimate guy who does it all. Had a big return, kick return to start the second half. We had really nice catches in the game, ran the ball really well, essentially iced the game and killed the game off for Green Bay on that 3rd and 7 run. So Debo was just amazing. I have to call out a play where Garoppolo throws it to the sideline and Kittle somehow comes down with it and corrals it inbounds. Amazing play. It was just phenomenal. I don't know how he did that, and it's really interesting because a couple of plays earlier, maybe the previous series, he drops a gimme. And then, look, you have to, the defense, overall, the defense was just phenomenal all game long. Eric Armstead is playing at basically an all-pro caliber level so far in the playoffs and against the Week 18 as well. Bosa, of course, was everywhere. The coverage was really solid. Dante Johnson. So the big thing here that happened was after that opening drive where we were playing very soft coverage on Devontae Adams, we gave Dante Johnson a ton of help on his side when he was covering Devontae. So you'd have Dante Johnson there, and you'd always see Tart or Ward just move over and to help out on that side, and just great adjustment by DeMeco Ryans, the defensive coordinator. But the defense as a whole deserves a game ball as well because, to limit the Green Bay offense, they had the opening drive, then they had the huge pass to Aaron Jones on a busted coverage. But beyond that, they gave up nothing, and that's really impressive. Regardless of the weather and what you can say how that might impact offenses, the defense was just fantastic and limited Rodgers to basically being ineffective after that opening drive and the big play. Just the Green Bay offense did nothing. So overall, amazing performance by the defense. I really hope we can hang on to DeMeco Ryans for next year, and hey, heck, as long as we can, hopefully. But yeah, hats off to the defense, the special teams, and Robbie Gould as well. Let's end it off on the kicker who kicked us through to the NFC Championship game. Even though he played in Chicago for all those years, kicking in that kind of temperature and those kind of conditions is never easy. He came through in the clutch yet again. We advance to the NFC Championship game where we are going to be taking on returning to the scene of the crime at SoFi Stadium, also known as Levi's South. We're going to have previews for that coming up. Join me for that. It's going to be a good time. Thanks for watching the video, guys. And just remember 2 things. The butt counts, and we're going to catch you on the flip side.